Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining in. I'm Dimiter, and today we are going to talk about how you can download any widget out there using Flow as a JPEG image, not a JPEG, sorry, PNG image, as an image. And I think you can change it. But in this particular case, we will use a PNG image. And today code, I will show you the code and I'll show you how this code works. And we'll take like a couple of widgets. I will give you an example with a couple of widgets, and we will actually use a couple of packages to do that. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump and actually see how you can do that. And before actually we jump, just want to let you know that all the code that I show you here in this video will be available in my GitHub page. So if you haven't started my GitHub page already, please do that. And like I said, you'll find the code in the description below, and it will be in my GitHub page. And there's one more thing I forgot to mention you actually. If you want to know how I built this, and if you want to know how I struggle to build it, you can actually watch the Flow quests, and there is QR codes and downloading widget as image part one, and then you can watch part two as well. So you can watch both them if you want to know how I built this code in the first place. And before I actually show you first the code, let me actually show you first how this works. I have this simple page who has only two things in it. It has this is a text widget and it says hello from Flow, and this is actually a text widget. And you can actually see it from the code. If I just go back to the code, you can actually just quickly see that this is a text widget, sorry, and this is the text widget. And then if I switch here and if I click this button, you actually not see it, but an image is downloaded, which is the image of the text widget. And if I switch back to images, for example, and if I upload in the assets, if I upload the image, you'll probably see it that the image was downloaded, and I'll actually upload it right now, and you should see the image being uploaded. And exactly, this is the image coming from the text widget, as I said. So the text widget is converted to image and then downloaded as PNG. And a very important thing, in order to test that, make sure you deploy this for web or test it in a mobile app, because this will actually not work in run mode or test mode. So make sure that you test it in web publishing. So test it in web or mobile. But like I said, this is the final image. And I actually prepare a code with the QR code because there was a user actually asking for the QR code as well. But like I said, you can put any widget out there that you can think of. You can put it here. And let's try actually right now. I will command this text, and let's try right now to output QR code, and then we'll actually download this QR code, and I'll show you now. So I just change it now to the QR code, and let me refresh with Control 5 because I want to clear the cache. And now I can actually see the QR code, and the QR code should be connected with this text field. Probably you saw it, and I can write something that I love flow, and this is actually a page state. So this is actually dynamically updated on change. And if I download this QR code right now, you can actually see, you cannot actually see, but this QR code should be downloaded. And if I go back to my assets again, I can delete this QR code because this is a demo that I tried, that I test. And then if I upload the widget, which in this case was the QR code, not a text widget, but this time it was a QR code. And if I upload it, and if I open it like that, you should be able to scan the QR code, and then you should read the text, which says, "I love Flutterflow." And you can try it for yourself. You can pause the video and then scan. And let's try with another widget, the final widget. So I wanted to actually show you with one more, which is a web view, for example, or Google Maps. But with Google Maps, I had to connect the API, which I don't have. Sorry, not the API, but the keys of Google's, which I don't have currently. And then I tried with the web view, for example, and I was like, I can enable the web view, I can add the web view, and then I can just copy and paste the code because this is literally what you have to do. But if I go to view code, for me at least, it's a buggy right now. So I don't actually see the code. I don't see the web view over here. So yeah, I'm not able to show you. But in theory, you can actually add the widget, modify the way you want to, and then just copy and paste the code, and then put it over here, right? Instead of the text, instead of the QR code, you put whatever widget you want to put over here, and then it should work. So let's jump into just explaining what the code is doing. Okay, so let's jump from top to bottom and let's talk about the first one. So the first one is import from Dart libraries itself, so you don't need any packages over to the right side over here. So this is just import the Dart mat, and then we have the first import is the QR Flutter import. But this is only if you want to download QR codes as image. If you don't want to do that, of course you don't need this package. So if I just command this package, and if I want, for example, to download a text widget, I would just don't need this part, and I would just use the text one, right? So I don't use, so you don't need this package at all. So, like I said, you only need this package if you are downloading QR codes as image. If you want to download the widget, but in this case it's a QR code, and if you want to do it, if you want to download it as image, sorry, but you don't need that. So that's why I commented, which is this package over here. I'm using this package particularly, but like I said, you don't need it. And then the two ones that you need for sure are screenshot, which is actually doing the screenshot of the widget. And this is the package I'm using. And it has nearly 1,000 likes. Let's actually give it a like. No, we can't. Okay, whatever. And so this is the screenshot that we're using to make the screenshot of the actual image, or the actual, not the image, but the widget. And then the second one, it's download. So download, there is another package called download. I'm a fan of this package because it's super simple, and it's actually covering all the platforms out there. So it's for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac OS, web, and Windows. It's very simple to use actually. So that's why I'm using download package. And on the right side, like I said, you don't need the QR filter, QR flutter. And then you need, sorry, I forgot to switch the tab. So on the right side where it says dependencies, you need the screenshot and you need the download. And I'm actually using any as the version of the number, and I'm always doing that. And I actually made a video about that. If you haven't watched the video about that, why you should use any, you can actually watch it right now. It's going fixing failed running Flutter get error. Sorry about that. And then When you're done with that, you can actually name your widget wherever you want to. In my case, I name it QR code downloader because I was downloading QR codes. But of course, you can name it like widget. And I'll actually rename that, to be honest, because QR code downloader, it's not the best description for this particular code. It will be something like widget to image or something like that. And then I'll actually change the name on top as well. And I probably don't need the QR one, so I'll delete it from here because I don't want. I just did that for testing to see to show you guys that you can also download QR codes if you want to, and then I'll compile it now. So the widget name will be widget to image, and here we have the screenshot. So we're using the screenshot controller, and then we have the init state. I think we don't need the init state, to be honest, because we don't have anything in the init state, so probably we don't need it, to be honest. So I will probably later remove it. And then here, I have a function actually that I created, and this is actually for generating a random bytes. Because if for some reason you are capturing a widget which does not exist for any reason or that does not return any data, this is actually I'm creating like a random data, so it could be it will not give a no error. This is actually a no. You can think about it as a no error safety code. This part over here. And then we have actually, I put three ways to download the image when it was produced by the screenshot package. So one way is actually using the HTML package, which is actually coming from Dart itself. So you don't need any imports for that, and this is how you can do it. I actually leave it like that, command it like that, so I can actually know that you can use this third method. But I'm using the second method, which is using the download package, and it's actually the file name is widget, and then I'm putting the today name because I want every time to be unique. But of course, if you want to have another name, you can actually change this line of code, and you actually have the name of the image to wherever you want to. And then we have the stream, which is converting the bytes to stream. And then the final thing is downloading the image from the stream, and then with the file name that you put it. And then the first method that I tried, and I also put it here, is that you can actually use permissions for storing permissions, and you can ask for permission and try to save it in your mobile app or web deployment. This is actually currently working for web, but if you have any problems or any issues dealing with mobile not working, you have to actually check the manual of downloads, and you have to check if you need actually something more to do for the web. Sorry, for the mobile. But if you, like I said, you can try one of the methods. So you can try the first method, the second method, or the third method if you have any difficulties downloading the image. But I test this, like I showed you, in web environment, and it's currently working. So it should work also in mobile as well. And then this part of the code over here, we don't have a lot of things. So we have the only thing that we have right now is that we have this screenshot widget, and the screenshot widget actually will take a child. It will take a controller, which is a screenshot controller, and it will take a child. And inside this child, actually, you have to put the widget that you want to convert it to image. So this is actually the magic part that you need over here. So in this part, in this example over here, I'm putting a very simple text, but like you just saw, You can put a text, you can put a QR code, you can put any widget that you can think of out there. You can put it over here, and then it will be converted to image. And then the final thing is the button. So you have the button over here, and when this button is pressed, you will actually you actually convert you convert and you actually execute sorry you actually execute this method, which is this one over here, which is actually what this method is doing, is actually downloading the image itself. So this button is actually underneath right now. It's underneath the widget that will be downloaded. So if I go over here, you should be able to see it. I'll actually delete the web view right now, and you should be able to see it. Yeah, exactly. So indeed, you are seeing it, that this is the name. This is the text widget, and you have the button underneath. So what if you want to actually um, don't if what if you don't want this button to be inside the text widget, inside the widget over here? What if you want this button to be outside? So what if you want to be on a floating button over here? Or what if you want to, when a user open a page, you want to automatically download the widget as an image on their phone or web or whatever, because you can use the action. So the idea is that you have to extract this action and put it individually in a custom action. So when you have it in a custom action, you can actually put it everywhere in the page, right? So this is the whole idea. So I'll actually make a video about that. So I think it will be my next video, my next tutorial. So if you haven't watched my next tutorial, make sure you do, and you actually get an answer to this question. But if you want a very basic functionality and that works for you to download the widget as image, this is your code. Like I said, this code will be available in GitHub, so you can actually use it. And yeah, I think that's it for regarding downloading widget as image in Flow. And before you go, I just want to let you know that I set up a Discord channel, which will be for my 3,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for everyone who subscribed to the channel. The Discord channel will be officially announced when I reach the 3,000 subscribers. Um, it is well structured. It will be well structured with the general tab, which you can see the info, the news, and we will have also click to talk. So you can actually talk to other members of the channel. And we have the YouTube videos as well, where you can see all the YouTube videos. You can also have, if you want to, if you want to request a video, you can go to video requests, and then we have the paid members from YouTube, which they have a separate channel where they can talk. I also have from the mentoring sessions, we have the paid members. And then it's structured by backend, Flow API calls Superbase SQLite. And then you have the design, where you can ask design questions. We have the custom code, which is code expressions, custom functions, custom widgets, custom actions, and for the Flow source code, we can talk about the Flow source code as well. And we have integrations as well, pub dev packages, platforms, if you want to integrate different platforms. We have the general integrations. And then we have, you don't see it from my face, but we have also the settings. We have the dynamic links, we have the push notifications, we have the app settings, we have the Android deployment, we have the iOS deployment, and we have the web deployment. And the last thing that we have is actually we have the languages, and we have other languages. So we have like Swedish, for example, Spanish, Portuguese, and all other languages that people from those countries or those languages can talk in their own language. So yeah, like I said, thank you very much for all the subscribers. And before you go, I just want to say that the paid membership for YouTube is now open. So you can be a paid member to my YouTube channel, which means a lot. And thank you very much for all the people who are right now paid members to the channel.